Hey, what's a hostile work environment? Let me illustrate. Real case, real person. And I'm going to use some bad words because this was the case transcript. So I'm sorry, scroll on if it will offend you. Woman worked for an employer in New York City, fairly large, closely held, family owned, basically one CEO owner. He was a nut. He screamed, he yelled, he had a public address system. He would shout and curse and say whatever he wanted. Send that deaf fucking idiot into my office. You know, Sue's girl, that short piece of shit. That's a direct quote. She wasn't Sue's girl. My client, the assistant to Sue, wasn't deaf. He was just summoning her and she wasn't responding fast enough. He called her short. She wasn't a little person. She was a petite woman, about 5'1", not protected, not a disability, and calling her a piece of shit. And he later called her a fucking asshole and stupid and clean that coffee maker before you leave. It's looking like your work habit's sloppy. And he would say goodnight to her by saying, get the fuck out of here, and I hope you have nightmares all night, and get here early in the morning, because I'm most likely going to fire you tomorrow, and I don't want to have to look at you all day. And then, of course, he's having too much fun tormenting her. He didn't fire her. She was losing her hair. She was all stressed out. This was no play. It was like battered wife syndrome. It was like, this was real emotional abuse. How could I help her? I represented her. I made it into a sex discrimination claim. When I say I made it into it, my theory of the case was and is that even equal opportunity assholes like this prick are worse with women. You're right. Women, she cried every night. She scampered away. There was no danger she might haul off and say, I'm going to rip your arm off and beat you with it. Right. There was just that. It was just extra tinged with intimidation and bullying that was gender-based, in my view. And that's how we pled the case. So how did we help her? Ultimately, because she was still working. And this is the point. Because she was still working for him, by that point, he couldn't fire her. He wasn't really about to anyway, but he couldn't fire her once we were threatening him because that would be illegal retaliation. So he ultimately had to settle with her, and at least it allowed her to leave the workplace with a certain amount of severance, not change her life money, but enough for her to get out of there and get healthy, teach this MFer a lesson, and then move on with her life to the next chapter. That's important. So a hostile work environment, even if someone all day long is saying, fuck you, and get me that paper and throwing fucking staplers, is not actually illegal unless it's happening to you, the hostility or the retaliatory backlash for reporting hostility based on a protected status. You're gay, you're female, your gender identity, your age, your race, your color, your disability, something